You know what makes a puzzle game good? The right balance between simplicity and complexity that makes you want to keep playing. But you know what makes a puzzle game great? When you put cute penguins in it. And boy does the oddly named Pikiinya deliver on both. Conjured up by the team of Createch and ASCII, this adorable yet abstruse puzzle game was released for the Super Famicom in 1997. And while it, like most puzzle games, rides on the coattails of the many puzzlers before it, Pikiinya is no slouch, bringing its own brand of mind-warping, block-dropping to the table. In terms of how it plays, Pikiinya is a game that's kind of hard to pin down. It's almost as if you mixed a bit of Tetris with a dash of Kirby Star Stacker, as you'll find yourself attempting to pair off blocks of ice and the titular lackadaisy penguins. But unlike most puzzle games, a simple line of 3 or 4 pairs won't set you up for success. Instead, you'll need to couple off 6 birds to get things started. Or if that's not in the cards, grab some ice blocks and complete a full row to break them and thaw out your flightless friends in the process. If you've played your board right, the birds that thaw should hopefully clear out and drop some more ice blocks into the right spots to keep your combo going. Or at least supply you with some much needed leeway to further your game. Of course, this is easier said than done. Maybe it was just me, but it took me a few sittings to really wrap my head around the game's divergent playstyle and accustom myself with where to drop certain blocks for the best outcome. So while the game may have a slight learning curve, I can assure you it's one I had a plenitude of fun grasping. Underneath the game's posh and endearing finish sits a small plethora of unique game modes. To start things off, we have the typical high score mode, where you'll try to stack and match to the best of your ability for as long as you can muster. And for as typical as it is, it 100% delivers on that key Pikiinya experience. Not to mention, the pan-flute-laden music that backdrops this mode is really soothing. Next up is the oddball fast lap mode, where you're required to match fuel barrels to get your penguin to complete 3 laps as fast as possible, or see how many laps you can complete in a set time. So rev up your engines and get to matching to take the top spot. I don't think I've ever seen a mode like this in any other puzzler, so score 1 for originality. Plus, it's quite enjoyable to come back to, and quite literally gives the game some extra mileage. Following that is a challenge mode where you're tasked with clearing lines or rows to dispose of these nuts. Ha, got him, obvious joke is obvious. However, the stipulation is that your combo must connect to one of the nuts for it to count. Nuts. Yet again, another fun distraction that actually packs a punch, as the varied layouts make way for some gripping play. After playing all 3 previous modes, you unlock the ever-frantic yet exhilarating story mode, which finds our heavy-eyed penguin pal running across a cavalcade of horrid-looking monstrosities.
What the hell is that?
And Rule 34 cannon fodder, all of which you must combat in a Pikiinya puzzle showdown. It's time to truly show them what you've got, as any and all lines cleared on either side will result in hurling trash at one another. And be careful, as each opponent hurls their trash differently. I'm not sure why this mode isn't available right from the get-go, but I'm extremely happy I stumbled upon unlocking it, as it's a blast to play through. Thankfully, you don't have to just take on CPUs, as you can go head-to-head against your friends in any of the aforementioned game modes for double the trouble. With its treasure trove of game modes and bewildering yet rewarding gameplay, Pikiinya is definitely a puzzler worth seeking out, if you can find it. As it goes with many late life cycle releases, it can be hard to track down, and when you do spot one, expect to drop upwards of $50 to $150 for a loose or boxed copy respectively. As on top of it being a late release, it didn't sell as well as either company had hoped. Despite that, it would manage itself a sequel on the PlayStation a year later, and in true Pikiinya fashion, it even got like a weird mobile keychain version. Neat. While ASCII and Createch's efforts may have been too little too late for it to cull a proper following, as it definitely fell by the wayside, even amongst import enthusiasts like myself, it is certainly a festive and riddling game that any puzzle game aficionado will enjoy. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, consider checking out these other videos right here, or even subscribing. Also, if you'd like to throw me a couple of bucks, you can support the show on Patreon.